Cedar Lake, Indiana explained. If you're looking to move to Cedar Lake or just looking to learn more about the area, this video is for you. In this video, as you can see, we got turned on already. We got the subdivisions of Cedar Lake. So we're going to take a dive into each subdivision and take a look at what houses are selling for, what they look like, get to know each subdivision. We're going to talk about the schools, what it's like to live in Cedar Lake, where Cedar Lake is in proximity to other towns in Northwest Indiana, distances to different milestones like the airports in Chicago, what to do in Cedar Lake and the surrounding areas, school information. Hey, did you know that Indiana pays for private school? We'll get into that. And then we'll check out some other information. So first of all, we're going to start just diving right into the subdivisions. So as you can see at my trusty Google Earth here, we have the subdivision shown. And I just want to zoom out. And one thing before we start diving into the nitty gritty of Cedar Lake is that, so where is Cedar Lake exactly? So I know this is a little busy right here. All right, so I just turned off the subdivision layer so we can see just where Cedar Lake is in proximity to other Northwest Indiana towns. So here, yeah, again, here is Cedar Lake. And so in Cedar Lake, and just for perspective to surrounding areas, so downtown Chicago is over here. And so from Cedar Lake to, say, downtown Chicago, what you would do is you could take 231, you can kind of take some back roads here through Dyer St. John to 394 to go up to the city on 94. Or if you're headed to the west suburbs, you would do the same thing. You'd ultimately get to 394 here and then head west on 80 if you were going I-80, and then that could take you 355 to the northwest suburbs, or 294 if you're headed to, like, say, the airports. O'Hare Airport would be that direction. If you're looking to, I know somebody who lives in Lowell and they work in Joliet, so they just hop on, I think it's Route 2, takes a back road over, and then just head up north that direction. Or if you're looking to go east, so from Cedar Lake, you could hop over to I-65. I-65 is right here, and then again, you're on 8094, so you could go northeast to Michigan or what have you. Valparaiso, you can see you can just hop east, hop on Route 2 and get to Valparaiso. And so that's kind of gives you perspective as to where the town is to some other milestones. From Cedar Lake to downtown Chicago with no traffic, you're looking at about an hour. It can be a touch more or quite a bit more depending on rush hour traffic. And all right, so now we're going to get rid of these screen markings and take a look at the actual surrounding towns so you can get perspective as to where the other towns are. All right, so now I'm going to zoom in on Cedar Lake. So you can see, again, you can see Cedar Lake is right here. To the south, we have Lowell. A little further southeast, we have DeMott. We got Crown Point. Cedar Lake to Crown Point is a 5-10 minute ride. To St. John, same thing, 5-10 minutes. So this whole region is not very far from each other. Northwest Indiana generally isn't all that big, so you can get around pretty quickly. Rush hour traffic does get a little crazy. So we got Maryville here, Valparaiso over here, Hobart, Portage, Lake Station, Gary, Highland, Munster, Dyer, Schererville, Hammond, East Chicago. And so this general region, like St. John, Crown Point, Cedar Lake, Dyer, Schererville, like that's kind of it's got a very similar feel throughout the area. So if you're interested in Cedar Lake, you might be interested also in like St. John or Crown Point, Dyer, Schererville. Those towns are all seem pretty similar, even parts of Lowell too. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look into the different subdivisions of Cedar Lake, Indiana. And then what we're going to do is we're going to, again, like for this one, August Oaks, we're going to take a look at it. We'll hop on Google Earth and take a look in the subdivision. And then we're going to toggle back to my MLS view. So as a realtor, I can see all the homes that have sold or are for sale currently, and this shows everything in the last year. And so we can see, we'll take a look to see what the actual housing stock looks like and what pricing is and things of that nature. So you can start to get a feel for the area. All right, our first subdivision here is August Oaks. And again, how we're going to do this tour is just to keep it easy to follow. We're going to start in the northwest corner and just kind of pan back and forth going south throughout Cedar Lake. All right, August Oaks is the first, and just before diving in, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Tony Anczer. My wife and I are real estate agents in Northwest Indiana and Illinois. We do these videos to help our clients and just the general public learn more about the area. So we do these videos to help you guys out, and we love working with you. We love hearing from our viewers. So please reach out. Our contact information is below. You can call, text, or email anytime. Also, the link below is a Calendly link if you just wanted to set up a virtual meeting directly. You can just book it right into our calendar and I'll meet you personally. So again, please reach out. We love hearing from you guys. All right, so Tall Oaks. Tall Oaks is a kind of newer subdivision. There's only, you see, a handful of houses here. Google Earth does not have street level view of this area, so we'll keep it to an aerial view. But you can see this is a kind of a cool area because it's on the northwest side of Cedar Lake. So depending on what area you're looking for, it gives you a nice commute to going further north. Also, it's secluded, so you can see a lot of these houses have the wooded as their backyard, which is really nice. So you can have that, you can have a regular size yard, but still have like a country feel to it. And so to look at homes that have sold over here, I had to go back about 2 years. But this was, you can see the housing stock here, about 285,000. And again, this was 2 years ago, so we're probably up 10-20% from there. 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot. This one was on the market for just a couple days. All right, the house right next to it sold to split level design, 1,300 square feet, 285,000. And again, that was about 2 years ago. So we gotta add 10-20% to that guy. All right, so that was August Oaks subdivision. So next we're gonna look at Hen subdivision. All right, so here's a house in Hen subdivision, and you can tell this is a newer style. So this was a 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,780 square feet that sold for $334,000. As again, yeah, these are newer homes. Just to see the different style there. All right, that looks like an all-top home. You'll see that those styles are pretty similar on their home design as we go through this. So that's Hen subdivision. Next, we're going to take a look at Monastery Woods. So Monastery Woods is a pretty popular subdivision. They're still building there as of the time of this recording. Got a couple buddies that live out there. Actually, we're just out there for a fundraiser. All right, so Monastery Woods is here. All right, this home, this is a model. This has been on the market forever because that's a model. This is 4-bed, 2.5 bath, 2,500 square foot. You're looking at about $450 for that. That's a Accent Homes model. Let's take a look at some that have maybe sold more recently. So this was sold $415,000. You can see a good size house here, 3-car garage. The market for 23 days. Sold about a year ago, 3-bed, 3.5 bath, 2,900 square foot. So you get a lot of house there. That would have a full basement to it as well. Havenwood Pass, that is a big subdivision in Cedar Lake. Yeah, it's got a cool feel to it too, because there is, it's nice because it's secluded. You don't have a lot of traffic going through unless you live in the area. So again, a lot of the border, the edge of the subdivision has homes that abut the wooded area. And just to take a look at a couple homes there. And as we look at this, the purple means homes that have sold, and blue is on the market, and yellow is pending. So let's take a look at this one that is pending sale. Yeah, so here this looks like a tri-level design, kind of typical. So like 3-car garage, 4-bed, 3-bath, 360,000 is on the market. Let's click on a couple others. 372,000 for a 2-story, 2-bed. You can see the details there. All right, let's take a look at Google Earth of the area. And this house, the subdivision is pretty much all the same era of construction. Get good sized lots, various styles, 2-stories, split levels, tri-levels. So yeah, it's a generally nice area. It's kind of like a mid price point budget for Cedar Lake. Next here we have Crystal Oaks Estates and Lemon Lakes Estates. They're pretty similar, so we'll just group them together. And so we're going to look at what has sold recently in the area over here. Yeah, so here we see 3-bed, 3.5 bath, 2,800 square foot, 2-story for $376. Checking out the other subdivision here is we got 220. This is a split level house, 2-bed, 2-bath. This northern subdivision is a little pricier. The houses are generally a little nicer than this subdivision is. We'll just take another look at, yeah, so this is kind of an older subdivision, and this is newer with larger houses. One thing of note too here is the area directly to the east is Lemon Lake Park, and it's cool. It's I'd say a couple hundred acres and big playland here, playground. They got sports fields out here. Frisbee golf is pretty big in the area, so that's a pretty cool area. All right, so I moved to Fairbanks, that way we can get a snapshot into the subdivisions. You see it's a nice area, generally newer style of houses, and yeah, generally nice place. Again, this is kind of like a mid-price point budget for Cedar Lake. All right, looking at Lemon Lake Estates, we'll take a street view there. And again, Lemon Lake Estates is an older subdivision, and you're gonna have smaller homes and a little tighter lots. So we'll just take it on pan around subdivision. So this would be a little below median price point for Cedar Lake. You can just see the general type of houses. You can see it's a little older. You'll see more common to see like cracked up driveways, as it's just a older area, a little bit smaller houses. All right, so now we're on the far east side of Cedar Lake. I think we'll just go around that way. Makes it easy to follow the map around. So this most east subdivision is called Lakeside Subdivision, and it's a newer subdivision. What's funny here is I think the aerial's not updated, but the street view is. So these are on the above median price point, but these are all like brand new houses. The builder there does a good job. And yes, these are mostly custom homes. So we'll see that. Here I'll switch to the pricing for this area. So this sold for $530,000, 3 bed, 3.5 bath, 3,400 square feet. This guy sold for $527,000. Yeah, it's really not $500,000 price point. And these are more custom builds. So these are they're more expensive, but it's a different area because this subdivision is like what doesn't comp with most of the others, because it's a different quality of build. All right, so this next subdivision here is Robin's Nest. All right, Robin's Nest is a pretty popular subdivision just because there's a good amount of houses in this area. So we'll do a street view. It's kind of a standard subdivision. You got a mix of 2-story, split levels, tri-levels. And I'll just pan around so you can see. These lines, unfortunately, are my boundaries on the Cedar Lake map. I have to live with them for the map. So, nice area. This would be like mid-price point. And for pricing, look at a couple that sold. We got $318,000. That's a little on the lower side. That was a good deal for this one. 4 bed, 1 3/4 bath, 2,100 square feet. Let's see, this guy's on the market currently. $374 for a ranch, 2,900 square feet. All right, that one seems a little aggressive for a straight up ranch. This guy's under contract, 290, 3 bed, 2 bath, 1,400 square foot house. All right, this development here, Sunset Harbor Condos. These are newer, and this is neat because I forget what used to be here. Man, I can't recall, but it was all knocked down and made into these high-end condos. So there's no imagery in the lot here, but from the outside we can take a look. And so with these condos, we'll look at pricing, but you get your own boat slip too. Here, let me move over a little bit so we can see a little better. They got fun colors. They're going for the coastal feel there. And yeah, there we go. There's a little better view. Kind of hard to see, but yeah, they're pretty cool condos there. And for pricing, we're looking at, and these guys are up there. These are, I guess you could say, luxury condos. So again, this is for condo. This one sold March 10th, 2023, $500,000, 3 bed, 2 baths. It comes with a garage. You get a boat access, so you get a dock included in there. So, but these are on the higher end, but these are probably like the nicest condos in Cedar Lake. And you'll notice there's lots of areas that we're not going to look into, and it's because these areas aren't really planned unit development subdivisions. So these were built kind of over time, and there's not really one consistent feel to them. So, please reach out and we can talk more in detail about any of these, because, we get a lot of lakefront property you'll see here, and we'll look at some of the lakefront homes too, but there'll be a significant price difference because these are kind of older houses that are smaller, and so the price points aren't very high, and they're generally smaller houses. But then once you get to the actual lakefront, you'll see that houses have been like knocked down and rebuilt. $800,000 million plus houses, right next to some $150,000 houses. But it just, as the area develops, you're getting little differences there. So we're going to look at these subdivisions are pretty neat. Deerview, Woods of Cedar Creek. So these are, we'll take a look at this. So Woods of Cedar Creek is a townhome development. So, or duplex, I guess, depending on how you define them. So actually sold that one. And so these are nice. They're actually really big on the inside. They don't look, outside they look decently big but in the inside it's crazy big. And most of these have full basements. So these are pretty cool. All right, looking at pricing, we'll see there's quite a few that sold through here. 269,000, 2 bed, 2 bath, 1,600 square feet. I know there's some with quite a bit higher price point. I'm sure we'll find one here. 324. There we go. 3 bed, 2 bath, 1,700 square feet. And these ones generally have like full basements, and so that can drive up the price too. But you're looking at 300 plus for a townhouse in this area. So all right, this other subdivision just to the east. All right, Deerview subdivision, and obviously with both these subdivisions, it's nice because you got here like the wooded feel. All right, we don't have street view imagery. There's not a lot of recent solds in the last year, but this one's on the market for 407. So was on the market at 417, 4 bed, 2 3/4 bath, 2,000 square foot. These, I'm just curious here, these are lots. Oh, that's not a lot. That's a new house that was built. Okay, 400,000 there. Let's see, was this a new house too? Okay, 417,000. It's a standard 2-story house, 2-car garage. All right, let's go next to Heather Crest Estates here, and it's kind of neat because you got this, this lake on the back end. We'll do a street view, see these houses, and this has, kind of same feel to that of Robin's Nest subdivision. You got, 2-story houses, tri-levels, things of that nature. And to look at a recent sold here, we've got a 300,000 that's like 6 months ago or so. 4 bed, 1 3/4 bath, 1,800 square foot. So that looks like a pretty good price there for that guy. It's a pretty good deal compared to what the other pricing we've been seeing. All right, so now we're going to that was the far southeast side of Cedar Lake. Now we're looking at the southwest side. We go to Lindsway subdivision. So Lindsway subdivision, I got actually a buddy who lives there. It was wild in Cedar Lake, Northwest Indiana in general, but Cedar Lake specifically, there's been so much appreciation. It's been wild. So it looks like there isn't street view imagery, so I'm gonna go grab one of these intersection points and we can take a look into the subdivision. So these are, it's a newer-ish area and still under construction for lots you can build there. They got, a lot of families that live there. Typically 2-story houses, what you're seeing. There are duplexes available too. Yeah, and in Lindsway here, you can see the duplexes with the double driveways from the aerial. Like these guys are driveway here, driveway there. So there's quite a few duplexes there, and then this area is a single family here, and then in the outside there, this is a playground area, and we'll look at pricing here. Pricing, we're in Lindsway. See, there's a lot of sales recently to look at. So over here are the duplexes. Take a look at a recent sold there. 274,000, 3 bed, 2 bath, 1,500 square feet. Let's try to find a single family house. Here's a single family. No, it's not. That's a half duplex. So that's 280,000. Okay, all right. I found a single family. So this is 15001 Euclid Street, 5 bed, 4 bath. That's a 2,700 square foot house. It's a good size house. $430,000. That's sold in June of 22. Next up, we have Rose Garden. Let's see if we have street. We don't have imagery into the subdivision yet. So we look from the outside. There are a number of houses built here already. Although you can tell it's a newer subdivision because Google Earth does not have imagery yet. So Rose Garden, and we'll look at sales. All right, so Rose Garden. All right, I had to reload the MLS, it timed out. So yeah, so looking at some recent solds here. We got townhouse for $240,000. It's generally a good price. This is on the market, so these are like cottage style homes, 2 bed, 2 bath, ranch house, 1,600 square feet, $340,000. Here we go, here's a single family I was looking for. 4 bed, 2.5 bath, $480,000, 2,600 square feet. All right, next we have Centennial subdivision, and this is a big Althoff Homes subdivision. So you see they got townhouses here, and we got duplexes here. I actually sold this one, that one, and then I think it was like this one right there. Yeah, so we'll look at these. They're still under construction here. A new phase was added and is being built. On the street view imagery, I've only got one side that's available to look at. We'll see these style of houses, and as you explore houses in the area, you'll see that the Althoff houses have a very similar look throughout everywhere they build. So these houses, like this design, that design, is very clearly an Althoff home. It's one of the more common builders in the area just because they built so many houses. One thing that's nice about the Centennial subdivision is that you'll see that they've got these walking trails and these sprawling ponds. That's not all too common in the area, so it's nice to have something that gives you a little amenities. This is the clubhouse here. So as part of the HOA, you get clubhouse access. There's a gym in there, and there's the in-ground pool. Again, they do have single families there. All right, we'll look at a sampling of each. So if we'll look at a townhouse, a duplex, and a single family. Reminds me of like a bourbon, one shot, one beer or something. But all right, so we got 225,000, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,400 square foot. So that's for the townhouses. Now let's take a look at the duplexes. So this one's on the market. I'd rather see a sold one. This is sold. Townhouse or duplex here. $250,000, 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,400 square feet. There are 3 beds too. Hopefully this is a 3-bed. Okay, that's a 2-bed as well. So that's pricing for that. So you look at another $10,000 or $15,000 for the 3 beds, and then we'll look at the single family pricing over here. So here's a nice house with a nice view in the cul-de-sac. $457,000 for 4-bed, 2.5-bath, 2,500 square foot house, 3-car garage. So that is Centennial subdivision. Next subdivision we're going to look at is Beacon Point. So Beacon Point does not have street imagery yet, so we will go to the main road view. And so what these are called cottage homes, and so basically what they are, they're single family houses that are generally ranches, and they're in a HOA that does your yard maintenance for you. So that's generally what a cottage home is. If you hear that, it's basically a single family, but it's in a HOA where you don't have to do yard maintenance. So that's a street view of it. Looking at pricing, okay, we don't see anything that's sold in the last year, but we do have some stuff on the market we can look at. So 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot ranch, 380,000. Pretty much the same thing here. 3-bed, 1 3/4 bath, 2,000 square foot for 375,000. I'd be remiss if I didn't point out some of those homes that have sold on the lakefront. So let's take a look at some of those. So we got 3-bed, 4-bath, 2,400 square foot, $750,000. Let's take a look at what else is included in this home sale. So in the photos here, one is 78. Don't worry, we won't look at all of them. But you see here, that's a pretty cool view there. Got, it comes with lake access through the pier. And yeah, some nice photos there of the lake. Gazebo. So that's the spirit of that house. Let's kind of flash through some of them here. Cool. All right, so that's one house. Let's look at this one. What is 800,000? 3-bed, almost 2-bath, 2,400 square foot. Again, 33 photos. So let's take a look at a handful here. Got a nice view. You can tell this house is remodeled. It's the main level. Yeah, that's a nice view. All right, let's take a look at 1 or 2 more right around the lakefront. And just for juxtaposition to see what the homes are like around right by it. And again, those houses we looked at were like updated or replaced, remodeled. Like right next to these houses along the lakefront, you got, 3-bed, 1-bath homes that's selling for, 130,000. That's pretty much on the low side there, but it was probably fixer-upper at that price point. Oh yeah, not too bad there. So again, there's a big price difference from just a couple houses in from the water to being on the lake. So taking a look at that one, 135,000, 4-bed, 2-bath, 2,400 square feet. So again, this is a older section of the lake, and there's a big price difference from being on the lake with lake rights to being just shortly inland. All right, we got just a handful left. We're looking at Winding Creek Estates and Utopia. We'll kind of do them back to back. So let's see, we have street view imagery of Winding View Estates. We'll see, this is kind of pretty common theme to the town of Cedar Lake is the house styles. some ranches, some 2 stories, some split levels. All right, looking into Utopia. So these are going to be, older homes that are, you can see a style difference, and, even the roads look a little different quality from one side of the street to the other. And we'll look at pricing. We're on the Winding Creek Estate side. Houses, we've got values for, these are recently sold, $356,000, 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,700 square foot ranch. That square footage would include in the basement. Do you hate when people do that? It's not really true square footage. So that's like a 1,350 square foot house plus a finished basement is how they're counting that. This would be a 4-bed, 2 3/4 bath house, $360,000. So on the Utopia side, these, they're smaller houses, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,100 square foot for $220,000, $250,000 for 3-bed one, almost 2,000 square foot ranch. So yeah, I see there's from one side of the parish to the other is quite a difference in house style. And here, this subdivision, I forget the name, we'll take a look in a second, but these are townhomes. So 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot, for $230,000. This guy, $240,000 for 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,400 square foot half duplex. And that subdivision name was, Camelot Villas was that one. All right, another new subdivision, Summer Winds. So we're getting closer to Route 41, which is like the main north-south street in the area. That's Highway 41, Indianapolis Boulevard. So Summer Winds here. Let's see if we have street view yet. I would be surprised if we do. Let's take a look from here and see what we get to see. Okay, you gotta kind of use your imagination there. But so these are nice homes, newer homes. All right, so let's see what they look like and what they sold for. $297,000, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,600 square foot half duplex. Another half duplex, $309,000. 3-bed, 2-bath, half duplex, almost $400,000, 3-bed, 2.5 bath. So these are all pretty much brand new within the last year or two, and they're higher quality builds, and that's why you're seeing the pricing being higher there. This area, I didn't even know there was a name to it. I mean, everything's in a subdivision name. I had to look it up. So I would, this one, like if you said Vanco subdivision in Cedar Lake, I don't think anybody would know what you're talking about. But it's kind of a neat area because, again, it's surrounded on the outside by, wooded area. So we don't have street level view of it, but we can go right next door. Let's see what this will give us view of. So we can see this area. All right, bunch of trees is all we're going to see there. So we'll just look in the MLS and get some more information on this area. So there's nothing sold in the last year. So I'm going to change my setting here and look back a little further. I'll be right back. All right, I had to go back some time to find some solds here. So in 2021, for $276,000, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,700 square foot. And another guy here, $362,000, 3-bed, 3-bath, 2,900 square foot. Oh, and that was in April of last year, so that really wasn't too long ago. So that's, again, those are pretty cool because you're in like a wooded area. Okay, last but not least, I'm zooming out for perspective here, is the Monastery Woods Cottage Homes. So there's a Monastery Woods subdivision, and this is the cottage homes. And so these are half duplexes, and then there's also single family homes too. So this is it's really nice in here. We don't have street level imagery, so we will look in from the major cross street. So anywho, these are pretty standard looking homes, but they are pretty nice. All right, there's lots of data points to look from here. So we got half duplexes, $265,000, 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,600 square foot. Let's try this guy. 2-bed, 1.5 bath, 2-story, $250,000. So now let's look on the single family. So single family, $420,000. Got 3-bed, 3-bath, 2,800 square feet. That would be upstairs and downstairs for that one. All right, so that includes the subdivision section of this video. Now I just want to talk about some other things that are important to know about the town of Cedar Lake. So one thing comes to water and sewer. So a lot of people just kind of think like in the, Northwest Indiana that everybody gets Lake Michigan water, and Cedar Lake does not. They're on their own well, and the water can be pretty hard. So if you live in Cedar Lake, you usually have a water softener because you won't have your own well, but you'll get water from the town of Cedar Lake, but they get their water from the wells, and so you will have to deal with making sure that you treat your water so that you don't get your clothes yellowed. The whites become yellow. You'll see like when sprinkler lines hit houses that they can be like the yellow, the orange yellow from the iron in the water. So just be prepared for that. You can filter the water accordingly. One thing kind of like, if you wanted to know, so if you live in Cedar Lake, like where do you go? Like what would you do if you needed to run to the store? So off of 133rd is this main area here. So we got Route 41, 133rd. This little area here has the main grocery store, Strachan Van Til, the Midwest Express Clinic. There's restaurants in the area, and also you're pretty close to basically anything else. So a main area of commerce is Route 41 and 30. There's anything you need in that area of restaurants, Red Robin's, Taco Bell's, all that stuff. So that's 10-minute ride maybe. There's a super Target right over here in 41. So you're close to everything within a 10-minute ride. So it's a great spot for locale. You're near everything. To get again to like the O'Hare Airport from Cedar Lake, if with no traffic, you're probably at about an hour. With traffic, you could be looking at 2 hours. For parks and trails, I'd mentioned earlier is Lemon Lakes Park. This is a large park. Actually, my kids' trail life group, we were there the last few weeks playing various sports in the fields. But this is a really cool place if you're into hiking or just walking around, like to take in some nature. You see the walking path around this lake. They got different spots for frisbee golf and things like that. One of the main things that Cedar Lake is known for is the Lighthouse Restaurant, and it is so on the east side of the lake here. It's right on the lake. It is this guy here. I tried Street View and the view's not the best, so I won't pan into it, but it's a really nice restaurant. People know it from the area. As I understand it, was like the Dean White family, who was big into advertising. They have billions. They put lots of money into Northwest Indiana, and building this restaurant was one of the things they did, because they wanted to make something really nice that would draw people, and it's a destination. So that's a really cool restaurant. If you're in the area, you gotta check it out. Prices, for how nice of a restaurant it is, prices are pretty fair. We always get like the macadamia encrusted walleye. That's my go-to, and like the buttered garlic mashed potatoes, whatever they call them. Oh, they're so good. So one thing I wanted to mention too is that the state of Indiana, if you have kids in school, the public schools in general are great. We'll get into schools in a second here, the public schools, but like my kids, we participate in the Indiana voucher program. So with the voucher program, the state basically pays for private school tuition if you're interested in sending your kids to a private school. There's a couple hoops that the schools just basically have to be part of the program, but the income limits are like super high. So previously the limits were a little bit lower, so it would a lot of people would income out of the program, but the income amounts went really high. And then also there used to be these different tracks that you had to qualify for to be in the program, and those have gone away as of this year in 2023. So feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to talk to you about how that works too. And I'm going to pause this and turn the schools on so you can kind of see where schools are. All right, so some of the main schools are for the elementary school. You got Douglas MacArthur Elementary School here in the northeast corner of the lake. You've got for the high school, Hanover Central High School right here. And it's a nice school, nice location. And then also this huge mammoth project has been being built like forever recently. That keeps getting bigger and bigger. I lost my place. Let me find it. All right, here we are, right off of 41. And actually I realized I need to update my boundaries because the town has expanded and annexed in this area. So Hanover Central Middle School is here. And there's a bunch of other buildings that aren't shown yet on this imagery, and it's like a super cool campus. So it's like for the school district, it's really nice. They're really doing things right in Cedar Lake. Well, we hope you enjoyed our tour of Cedar Lake. These other videos popping up are other videos about the area, so please feel free to look through our playlist. You'll see the neighborhood tours, the videos about other towns also. And please reach out. We do these videos because we want to help our viewers learn about the area, especially if you're moving or buying or selling. We'd love to work with you. So call, text, email. Also is a Calendly link that you can book a Zoom call right on our calendar, and I'd love to meet with you. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.